America's.
We welcome the distinguished chairman of the Senate Committee on Gas, Senator James Manager. We welcome you, sir. Welcome the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Mr. Mele Kiari. The Executive Secretary of PEF, Petroleum Equalization Fund, Mr. Ibrahim Baboy, is also in the room. We welcome him. Welcome the Chief Operating Officers who are in the company of the GMD. We welcome His Excellency, Chief Timmy Praise Silva, the Honorable Minister of State, Petroleum Resources. Your Excellency, we welcome you. One project after another, you've been delivering the promise made at the start of 2020. Welcome, Your Excellency. We welcome the Director of the Department of Petroleum Resources, our industry regulator, Engineer Seki Anwalu. Engineer Seki Anwalu, welcome you, sir. We'd like to also welcome the Executive Secretary of PPPRA, Engineer Saidu Abdul Kadir. You're welcome, sir. It is certain that the utilization of CNG and LPG for vehicles will reduce definitely the pressure being faced by some agencies who are doing their utmost best this past few years to ensure that the petrol stations remain wet and no more queues. This will just go a long way in improving how we commute and how much we spend fueling our vehicles. As you already know, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this event will be kick-starting at midday. A few minutes before that time, His Excellency the President will be joining us. If you're just coming, we've provided sanitizer dispensers to sanitize your hands. If you have forgotten your face mask anywhere in the car or somewhere and you need one, the health and safety team on ground are willing to assist you with one face mask. Don't worry, you will not be paying for it. And for those who will be speaking, another sanitizer dispenser is provided for you close to the lectern when you come to speak and when you're done speaking. Nicholas Mutu, and Chairman, House Committee Downstream, Honorable Mahmoud Gaya. We welcome you. You're welcome, honorable members, to this august gathering. In exactly 11 minutes, we will be commencing this event. 12 minutes. The event will commence. So please, if you found your seat, very kindly take your seat. And for those journalists or press people who are doing still photography, please take your shot and take your position to the corners of the area. Please do that. Thank you very much. We'd like to also recognize the presence of the Chairman, Senate Committee Downstream, Senator Mohammed Sabo Nakudu. Distinguished, you are welcome. You're welcome, distinguished. Please, when this event starts, those of you standing in front of the minister, turn around. I see that the screen is just behind you. You can't stand there. Take your shot and go to the sides, please. Take your shots and go to the sides. We appreciate that, please. Thank you very much for understanding. Thank you. You take your shot, you go to the side. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. Please take your shot and go to the sides. Thank you. We'd like to also recognize the presence here of the President of Trade Union Congress, Quadri Olaleye. Quadri Olaleye, you are welcome. We recognize the presence here of the President of NLC, represented by the Deputy President, Najim Usman Yassim. Mr. Yassim, we welcome you. Of course, all the other presidents of labor organizations and trade unions, we welcome all of you who are here. President PTD, we welcome you. Nupeng, we welcome you. NATO, we welcome you. NURTW, we welcome you. Mormon, we welcome you. Dapman, we welcome you. Of course, once again, we welcome all of our chief operating officers and even the MDs of subsidiary companies of the NNPC. Welcome those who are here. Sam, please, if you can hear me, I need the link, as I told you, to guide me. I told you. The President, NLPGA, we welcome you. Thank you for being here as well. Manasseh, Sam, Kemen, if someone can hear me, I told Sam I need a link to enable me see when His Excellency walks into the chambers, which will happen in 4 minutes. Please, can we take our seats? The President will join us in the next 4 minutes. Can we please take our seats, please? Can we please take our seats? Thank you very much. Please take your seats. The President's arrival is in 3 minutes. Guys, please, you can't stand here. I've been telling you, you can't possibly stand here. You see, much as it's a big screen, you can't stand here. You can see for yourself. You can't stand here. Bros, you can see for yourself. You can't stand here. You know, you can see. You can't stand here. Okay. And I said so. Once you take your shot, you leave. Thank you very much. Thank you. So just quickly before His Excellency joins us, you're welcome to the NNPC mega station Luke Bay. And as it is protocol for us in the industry, somebody's blocking this camera. If somebody's blocking the main camera, see, your head, who is that person? You're blocking the camera. That's what I'm saying. You are blocking the camera. Excuse me, miss, is it you? Someone is blocking the main camera. Can you please, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are seated here, can you just remain seated when the event starts? Because, Auntie, you're blocking the camera. You're blocking the main, I'm saying. Very respectfully, I appeal those who are seated here, kindly remain seated once the event starts. As you can see, if you stand, the main camera is right behind you. You'll be blocking the live feed. Thank you very much. So, 2 more minutes, okay? Now, whilst you're here, if you need to use the restroom, if you go towards my right, behind the buses, you would find a small white building. That's where we have the restrooms for this facility. And should there be an emergency, we have right behind this tent where we are, will serve as the muster point for this occasion. Of course, so very much for the work you do, the agencies in the ministry. For oversight function, we appreciate the presence here of the National Assembly, very well represented, by the way. The National Assembly is very well represented here this afternoon. I think it's afternoon. Yes, it is afternoon. The Chairman, Senate Committee on Gas, the distinguished Senator James Manager. Distinguished, we welcome you once again. Thank you so much for being here. And his colleague, the Chairman, Senate Committee Downstream, distinguished Senator Sabo Nakudu. Distinguished, we welcome you. Thank you also for being here with us. We welcome, do not know if he's represented or if he's here in person now, the Chairman, Senate Committee Upstream, the distinguished Senator Albert Bassi. Distinguished, we welcome you.
Hello, MC.
Very present, sir. Very present, sir.
Can you hear me loud and clear?
Loud and clear, sir.
Okay, how about our video?
Sam, can you give me the villas? Okay,
can you give us,
absolutely.
Can you give us the,
absolutely.
The other video.
I can see the council chambers now. Yes, I can see that too. The president's speaking position, I can see that. Clear.
Very clear.
Absolutely. Clear and good to go. Absolutely, sir.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. So I'm standing by for you once you are ready, Vila. I'm standing by for you. We also welcome members of the House of Representatives. The Chairman, House Committee Gas, Honorable Nicholas Mutu, welcome you once again. Chairman, House Committee Downstream, Honorable Mahmoud Gaya, we welcome you once again. The GMD NNPC, we welcome you again, sir. And of course, I'm aware we have the director of DPR, we have the director of PEF also in the room. We welcome all of you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Of course, cities like Canada and their likes, it's been said that from years ago, there's a study done from 20 years ago, another done recently. The skyline of countries like Canada became clearer and healthier because they made a deliberate switch to gas as a source of fuel for most of their, industries and most of the things they do in generating power. And it gave them a clearer air, it gave them a more healthier environment. Now, with more and more effort by our government to switch to gas to power our industries, to power our power generation, and ultimately to ensure that cars on the streets are driven by the same, what that simply means is that even though we have not contributed so much to the green gas emissions globally, we are playing our part in reducing our own CO2 emissions in the world. And that, I think, it is something the administration is handling ever so well. So gas, as many have said, I think it was the MD of the Nigerian LNG who said, if you ask me what the fuel for the future would be, I would say gas, gas, and gas. Little wonder the minister declared it the year of gas. So we are here today for the rollout of the National Gas Expansion Program, from power generation to the industries, to the cars driving, and to the houses where we cook our meals. Gas is expected to become the primary source of fuel that we use.
Yes, MC, Mr. President is here. Can we rise?
Can we please rise now and welcome His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. National anthem, please. Manasseh, national anthem. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Welcome, Your Excellency, Mr. President. Shall we please be seated? His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Honorable Minister of Petroleum Resources. His Excellency Professor Yemi Osinbajo, GCON, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Distinguished senators here present and chairmen of relevant Senate committees, honorable members of the House of Representatives here present, honorable ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, honorable Minister of State Petroleum Resources, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, His Excellency Ambassador Ibrahim Gambari, Chief of Staff of the President, the distinguished Head of Service, the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources, heads of ministry agencies under the ministry, chief operating officers of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, and the managing directors of the NNPC subsidiaries, presidents of labor organization and trade union congresses, captains of industry, gentlemen of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the presidential rollout of the National Gas Expansion Program here at the NNPC Mega Station, Ilugbe, Abuja. It's going to be quite a short event, and hence I will go straight into the proceedings of the afternoon. My name is Richmond Osuji, and I have the privilege and honor of mastering this event today. And quickly, without wasting much of our time, I'll switch gears now to the welcome address, as I ask you to join me in welcoming the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Malam Mele Kolo Kiari, for this address.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, Muhammadu Buhari, Commander-in-Chief, and the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Your Excellency, Professor Yemi Osibajo, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Secretary to Government of the Federation, the Chief of Staff to the President, distinguished members of the National Assembly, the Senate, and the House of Representatives present here, members of the Federal Executive Council, honorable ministers, especially the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timothy Silva, gentlemen of the press, the President of Nigeria Labour Congress, represented ably here by the Deputy Vice President, and also the President of the Trade Union Congress, Comrade Quadri, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, let me begin by thanking Your Excellency for leading this important transition from petrol to cheaper gas-powered transportation system for our country. Mr. President, the use of compressed natural gas, CNG, as well as liquefied petroleum gas to power automobiles has continued to get acceptance across the world due to its low cost and low impact on the environment. It is therefore provides a cheaper and cleaner alternative to petroleum motor spirit, popularly referred to as petrol. Your Excellency, from 2016 to 2019, the federal government spent over 3 trillion naira subsidizing the pump price of petroleum, particularly for PMS. While strong market forces continue to keep cost of supply higher than the approved PPRA ceiling. This situation has deprived our nation of the anticipated prosperity as the resources required to build critical infrastructure, improve the economy, extract private investment, and generate jobs for our people has been depleted by the subsidy regime. And most of, Mr. President, the subsidy regime do not benefit the ordinary Nigerians, which you are very, very passionate about. With the collapse of the global economy, Mr. President, due to the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, the country lacks the resources required to sustain the onerous subsidy regime. Thus, in March 2020, we brought into effect the deregulation of the downstream sector of the Nigerian oil and gas industry, which brought end to fuel subsidy in our country. The federal government, being aware of the potential impact of this decision on the cost of transportation, initiated a transition to autogas as a cheap alternative fuel aimed at deepening domestic gas utilization. Mr. President, NNPC is expanding the natural gas footprint across the nation in order to support industrialization and job creation through the ongoing gas infrastructure project, including the OB3 gas pipeline connecting east and the west, the ELPS 2, which is expected to boost supply to the Western Corridor, and the AKK pipeline that will supply gas to Abuja, the Federal Capital Authority, Kanuda, and Kaduna states ultimately. And these projects are well on course, Mr. President. Under your leadership, Mr. President, and the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, the Ministry of Petroleum is working towards the implementation of the palliative measures agreed with organized labor. Today, Your Excellency, Mr. President, you will be launching at this spot, 5 gas-powered transit buses and 10 converted buses for some of our agencies. And of course, with the continued agreement that will extend this to 1 million cars by the end of 2021. To support this effort, Mr. President, NNPC is providing will provide free combustion service in some selected NNPC retail stations to assist interested motorists switch from PMS to autogas, especially in areas with existing autogas service stations in the Federal Capital Territory, Kaduna, Kano, Kogi, Kwara, Ogun, Ondo, Oyo, Lagos, Edo, Delta, and Rivers State, and Bayelsa State. NNPC is expanding this initiative to all NNPC retail stations across the nation, while assuring motorists of steady availability of autogas at competitive prices. Mr. President, we are profoundly grateful to Your Excellency for this cash gesture to the earnings of Nigeria by bringing succor to them and providing them the cheap fuel. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, the GMD of NNPC, Malam Kiari. Of great importance there to note is the willingness of the NNPC to do some conversion for motorists at no cost. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we're now switching gears to a remarks by His Excellency Chief Timothy Silva, Honorable Minister of State, Petroleum Resources. Let's now welcome him as he gives us his ministerial address at this rollout program of the National Gas Expansion Program. Sound.
Your Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, Commander-in-Chief, and the Honorable Minister of Petroleum of the Federal Republic. Your Excellency, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Chief of Staff to the President, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, members and leaders of the National Assembly that are here, members of the Federal Executive Council that are present, the GMD of NNPC, and other heads of agencies under the Ministry of Petroleum, the leadership of organized labor, and let me especially recognize the chairman of the National Gas Expansion Program and his team, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am very delighted to be standing here before you on this day, which marks the beginning of a new era in Nigeria's oil and gas industry. In line with the aspirations of our dear President, Muhammadu Buhari, we have initiated efforts to deliver sustainable energy by improving gas availability and accessibility, boosting gas-based industrialization, and promoting economic diversification. The Ministry of Petroleum Resources has begun implementation of these initiatives to drive home Mr. President's directives. This administration is dedicated to implementing programs that are focused on improving the life of its citizens, creating jobs, building indigenous technical expertise, and stimulating other sectors of the economy to address unemployment amongst our youth, which, despite increased activity in the oil and gas sector, remains one of our biggest challenges. We must, as one country, think of the long-term development strategies to grow our economy in real terms. A significant part of this is the harnessing of our natural gas resources to focus on manufacturing and productivity. Not until this is done can we achieve the desired results. With this in mind, the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, which, as you all know, is headed by Mr. President himself, is focusing on the development of skills, technology, and manpower, the growth of LPG, CNG, and LNG. In January of this year, I inaugurated the National Gas Expansion Program as a mechanism to boost utilization of natural gas in the short and medium term. This is also part of the federal government's bid to key into the global shift from crude oil to gas and other renewable sources of energy, as re-emphasized in my declaration of the year 2020 as the year of gas. As part of the rollout strategy, which Mr. President is unveiling today, selected stations across all 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory will start the installation of facilities for gas products and conversion capabilities. The process is now well on course, as we can see today. The availability of autogas as an alternative fuel will afford Nigerians cheaper, cleaner, and additional choice of fuel. Cheaper than the price of PMS, cleaner for our environment, and better for our automobile and other engines. It is very important to note that this shift to gas underscores Mr. President's seriousness and determination in the development of Nigeria's vast gas resources. Under the directives of the President, we will continue to strengthen the gas value chain as it is vital to transforming the economy of our great nation. This initiative is envisaged to create 2 million jobs per annum, promote skills acquisition, and enhance technology transfer in addition to growing the nation's GDP. I would also like to thank Mr. President at this point, especially for his firm leadership, the NGEP team, the NNPC, and other stakeholders, and most especially Nigerians, and specifically the maturity and patriotism shown by organized labor in the face of daunting economic challenges facing our country. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Chief Timiprio Silva, Honorable Minister of State Petroleum Resources, giving us, by way of statistics, some of the benefits that is coming the way of Nigerians because of what we do here today. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the next 5 minutes, we will try to tell you the story of autogas dispensing, as you will be witnessing here today and in many other NNPC stations across the country. Just rivet your eyes to the screen, and if you're watching us live, please keep your eyes on the screen as well, and let's take you on this 5 minutes journey. Shall we please have this short documentary on autogas dispensing?
Since 2019, the federal government has been pushing for the usage of gas, CNG and LPG in automobiles. This is as the country plans to reduce the natural energy consumption of petrol and diesel by achieving a 40% fuel switch to LPG in 10 years. According to the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, His Excellency Chief Timiprio Silva, 2020 is the year of gas for the nation.
What we want to do is to introduce CNG into the market so that if you find PMS too expensive, CNG, which is much cheaper, should be affordable to you.
The advent of COVID-19 brought about global lockdown and shutdown that led to drastic oil price drop. Nigeria was not immune to this economic downturn, as businesses and offices were shut down, with majority of Nigerians, except essential workers, staying at home. Consequently, deregulation of the petroleum industry became a viable option, as subsidy became unrealistic. In realization of this fact, the federal government is putting all efforts towards deepening domestic gas utilization.
We promise the nation that we will expand the critical gas infrastructure in the country to promote the use of gas in the domestic market. These include the Escravos to Lagos pipeline system, to Obiafu to Obricom pipeline, and Ajakuta, Kaduna, Kano.
As part of efforts to mitigate the effects of deregulation and deepening domestic gas utilization, the NGEP is using all available domestic gas resources to provide cheaper and cleaner energy for Nigerians. Prior to the formal launch of the program, consultations were conducted wide and near at all levels of the business environment, with about 9,000 filling stations enjoined across the country to begin installation of facilities for gas, namely autogas, CNG, and liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, available at over 18 locations at the moment, with plans to have more in the future.
By the time you get used to gas to fuel your car, which probably will be like half the price of petrol, you probably will never think of petrol anymore.
To ensure everyone is carried along, the federal government is supporting Nigerian workers to ease cost of transportation by providing 105 auto gas buses, with 5 to be handed over to NLC at this ceremony. To make the program sustainable for private investors, the federal government is releasing the sum of 250 billion naira through the Central Bank of Nigeria for interested investors to have easy and cheap access to the auto gas program. Since the initiative is entirely new and occurring in the mid-downstream value chain, the federal government is conducting various capacity building trainings for individuals at all levels to build up on the technical expertise on the ground. The autogas is cleaner and environmentally friendly, as it significantly helps reduce CO2 emission. Autogas is more efficient and cheaper than petrol. But people need not discard their existing cars or buses for autogas. Motorists can simply convert to a dual-fueled car that operates on both petrol and autogas at choice. The National Gas Expansion Program to launch is a high point for Nigeria. The auto gas program to be launched is a promise delivered, as it goes live in all states of the Federation in the coming months. With this giant step towards autogas, fashioned to fit the country, Nigeria has joined the league of countries like Egypt, India, Morocco, New Zealand, France, Australia, and the United States of America, who have been using natural gas for years and decades.
Sound, okay. Well, that is the kind of applause you would give me for standing up to get to the microphone. But for what the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, led by His Excellency the President, has done, I think they deserve a better round of applause. I do not know if you were listening to those numbers, the number of jobs that could be created, or the intervention by the CBN to all the stakeholders who will be interested in this industry, or in this space. I think it is something between inauguration and rollout in record time. The ministry deserves truly a remarkable applause. Congratulations, I say, to each and every Nigerian because of what is coming. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will now switch gears to do the formal unveiling of this rollout and indeed listen to a presidential address. As I move over now to the villa here in Abuja and listen to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Mr. President, sir, the virtual stage is yours.
Members of the National Assembly,
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Chief of Staff, Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Group Managing Director, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, President and members of Nigerian Labour Congress, our royal fathers, senior government officials, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with pleasure that I welcome you all to this novel occasion of the National Autogas Rollout Initiative, an important deliverable of the natural gas expansion program. Today's event signals the realization of government's commitment to ensure the domestic utilization of the nation's vast gas resources, which currently stands at over 2 trillion cubic feet, through the development of robust gas infrastructure, expansion of gas-based industries, massive adoption of gas as auto and cooking fuel, with the overall objective of employing same as catalyst for the growth and development of the Nigerian economy. It is an important milestone in the widening of domestic gas supply and the provision of cleaner, safer, and better energy options for Nigerians. As key strategy, I have directed the Minister of State, the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, and all managers of the Natural Gas Expansion Program to adopt a market-led approach in the implementation of their mandate. The program will focus on encouraging investments through the establishment of conducive and enabling environment in order to encourage and galvanize potential investors in the gas subsector of our resource-rich economy. The program will also focus on other vital aspects of the value chain, especially capacity building, with special emphasis on technical expertise and confidence building with consumers. It is no longer news that the vast natural gas resources which Nigeria is endowed with has hitherto been used suboptimally as a result of dearth of gas processing facilities and infrastructural connectivity for effective and optimal domestic utilization. As I mentioned above, with a proven reserve of over 203 trillion cubic feet and additional upside of 600 trillion cubic feet, ranking Nigeria as the 9th in the world currently, the need for domestic gas expansion and utilization is apparent. Therefore, the rollout of the natural gas expansion program, autogas initiative, is coming at the right time, especially in light of global crude oil market fluctuations, coupled with the full deregulation of the local PMS market. These developments have made it imperative to focus on gas as an alternative fuel to move Nigeria from the conventional dependence on white products for autos and prime movers of industrial applications to cleaner, more available, accessible, and affordable energy source. The outcome will not only cushion the effect of the downstream deregulation that this government has to painfully implement, but also create new markets and enormous job opportunities for our people. We are confident that the autogas initiative will lead to increased domestic gas utilization and enrich the trajectory of national economic growth and development. I therefore encourage everyone to embrace gas in form of LPG, CNG, and LNG as an alternative fuel for autos and other prime movers. Let me now express my deep appreciation to Nigerians for their patience and to organized labor for its maturity and patriotism as we collectively navigate these global economic and other challenges. I now roll out the natural gas expansion program with the autogas initiative as a first phase for the benefit of all Nigerians. The Minister of State Petroleum Resources is hereby directed to commence the process of handover of mass transit buses to organized labor as part of our government's pledge to continue providing support that will ease transportation challenges Nigerians are facing at this time. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. I think we can do better with that applause for His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Shall we now please rise? We will take the national anthem. Mr. President will proceed to other matters. As you've heard him direct, we will continue in the room. Manasseh, national anthem. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria and God bless our president. We may be seated now, please, in the room. We may be seated now. We'll continue just because, as you can see, the space we have for all that we need to do is not much. So please, let's just follow my directive now. I would like to call on two people. The first person will be handing over the keys to the Honorable Minister, who will do as the President has directed. The second person will then lead the Honorable Minister, the GMD, the members of the National Assembly, to the CNG pump. From the CNG pump, they will then proceed to the LPG pump. And thereafter, if there are press interviews I'll be taking, I'm sure we'll do all of that in that time. But for now, again, I want to reiterate, the space is not sufficient to carry everybody. So please, I beg that we all remain seated. As I ask Brenda, yes, Brenda would be waiting. I'm sure you'll be waiting somewhere around the bus. Where's Brenda? She's waiting around the bus, I guess. Okay, you are there. Awesome. Okay. So, Your Excellency, Honorable Minister of States and GMD, and our dignitaries in the front row, you can go with Brenda to the bus. We'll begin with the bus. Now, after the key is handed over, you will proceed, led by, the tour in that case will be led by Haruna Salisu. Haruna Salisu will lead Your Excellencies to the CNG pump after the bus. So at the bus, the labor to whom the key is handed One of them will drive, or whoever is assigned to drive, will drive one of the buses to the pump. Before we go to do that. Okay. Thank you very much. I am told that before we go to do all of that, we'll just quickly take, please indulge me, for the next 3-5 minutes, indulge me to take a vote of thanks by the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources. We'll welcome Mr. Nabasu. You're welcome, sir. Bitrus, Mr. Bitrus Nabasu Bako, you're welcome.
Your Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Your Excellency, Mr. Yemi Osinbajo, SAN, GCON, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Sound.
Sorry for that break in transmission. The Chief of Staff.
Sound. Please, whoever is touching the cables, I beg you, please stop touching it, please. Thank you.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
Capacity.
Chief Boss. The Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and my boss, His Excellency, members of the National Assembly here present,
feel pressure.
Gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The road towards the rollout of the Nigerian National Gas Expansion Program
inside China.
All the testing regime.
The road towards the rollout of the National Gas Expansion Program has been a very eventful one with its numerous challenges, most of which is occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic that has brought most economies almost to a standstill. The successful rollout of the program today is a testament of the resilience of my boss, Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, His Excellency Timothy Silva, riding on the support of Mr. President, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Recall that early this year, the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources declared 2020 as the year of gas, and thereafter, in February 2020, inaugurated the Committee on National Gas Expansion Program to ensure the actualization of that declaration. And true to his promise, today we have witnessed the rollout of the program by His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. The importance of gas for both domestic and auto consumption cannot be overemphasized. As we all know, when compared to fossil fuel, gas provides a cleaner, cheaper, and more environmentally friendly energy source, and this is why Nigerians should embrace its use. On this note, let me extend my gratitude to the Almighty God for making this day a reality. May I, on behalf of the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, His Excellency Time Silva, extend our deep appreciation to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari for taking the time despite his busy schedule to join us virtually and officially roll out the program. I also sincerely thank my boss, the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, His Excellency Time Silva, for his initiative and foresighted leadership that charted this course, which will ensure the effective utilization of our abundant gas resources. Let me single out for appreciation the committee members on the National Gas Expansion Program who took it upon themselves to ensure that today's rollout was successful. My sincere appreciation to these hardworking and committed committee members led by Dr. Mohammed M. Ibrahim, MNI. To the management and staff of the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Chief Executive Officers of agencies, the GMD NNPC, the Director DPR, the Executive Secretary NCDMB, the Executive Secretary PEF, the Executive Secretary PPPRE, the Executive Secretary PTDF, the DG NNRA, and the Principal PTI. All industry specialists, my appreciation to you for your tireless efforts at ensuring the success of this rollout. Nigerians are counting on us to ensure its effective and sustainable implementation. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we appreciate you for coming and for giving us this coverage. On behalf of the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, we thank you sincerely. Thank you, and I wish you all safe return to your destinations. Thank you once more.
Thank you very much, PAMSEC, and most sincere apologies for that mix-up of interference there. Most sincere apologies. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and now we will continue to the rollout proper. As I said, the first step, as Mr. President directed, will be the handover of the keys. It will happen at the bus. You see the bus over there. So two people only will be going to the CNG pump, and that is the minister and the GMD. You understand the sensitivities of gas and the equipment and also, please, two people only, the GMD and the minister will be going to the pump. But for now, sirs, can you please rise, go with Brenda to the bus? Can I have the NLC Vice President and the TUC President to support? Just go to the bus over there. Once the dignitaries finish with the bus, only two of them will proceed to the CNG pump. Only two of them will proceed to the LPG pump. The rest can remain seated and just witness it on the screen here. I think our crew will do their best to put it on the screen. Sound. Sorry, excuse me, sir. Sorry, excuse me, sir. Sorry. I want to give them mic. Sorry. Excuse me. Sound. Please, we need to allow. Sound.
So I'll give you the vote. You're ready.
Okay. As directed by Mr. President, I hereby hand over the keys to the first set of 5 buses to the leadership of organized labor for your use. In the next phase, we'll be handing over keys of over 100 buses to you, and other phases will follow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Lead you to the...
Go to the pump.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Somebody bring in the driving the bus to this place?
Yeah, they'll drive the bus when you cut the tape. Yes. Let me just tell them. Huh?
Please, only 2 people here, please. Cameraman, leave there. Only 2 people here, please. Only 2 people. Cameraman, can you just move back, please? Can you leave there, cameraman? Brenda, take.
The tamper with the receiver.
Somebody messed up the receiver. Sound.
Where's the receiver?
Sound. So inside. So tell him.
Yes, the crowd, they tampered on the receiver, but they fixed it up. This one is working now. Yes.
Wow, this 2 people go there. 9 ton to 50. If we'll have 1 more. Are we done? Can you just move back, please? We're done. Sound. Excuse me, sir. Sound. Somebody stepped on the receivers.
Sound. 1, 2, 3.
Sound. Just talk to them. Let me work on this.
So may I request for social distancing? Can we just maintain our distance so that it's easy for us to talk?
Please, the bus is coming. Give way. The bus is coming. Please move back. The bus is coming. Please, the bus is coming. Move back, please. The bus is coming. Please, allow the bus. Allow the bus. Allow the bus. Allow the bus. You are the one who like Babi. They need to see what you're doing. They are not. Be here. Sound. I want them to hear me there. Leave the front of the vehicle. Sound. Sound. It's sound. Sound. We'll talk later. Yeah. We'll talk. Well done, my friend. Yes, sound. 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 Sam, if you can hear me, Sam, I'm going to the second location. So the mic that's supposed to work here, please make it common now. Thank you. Sound, sound. Sound, sound. Sound, sound. Sound, sound. Sound, sound, sound. We need to manage this thing from here now. Everybody remain here. Sound, 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 sound. They should stop here. Everybody should stop here. Everybody should stop here. Only GMD minister should go past this point. Only GMD minister pass this point. Everybody stop here. GMD minister go past this point. Everybody stay here. Yes, please stay here. Everybody stop here. Everybody stop here. Only two of them, please. Sound, sound. Sound, sound, sound. Sound, 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 sound. Sound, sound, sound.
On behalf of Mr. President,
Just steer this way a bit. Jimmy, face them that way a bit. Come in.
on behalf of Mr. President, I hereby commission this LPG dispensing station to the glory of God and for the prosperity of Nigerians.
Mention this. I pass my label. Even this can be.
With LPG, now you can even power generators like this with LPG. At least Nigerians have an alternative to PMS now.
Yes, so we're going to Katampe now. Yes, yes. Okay. 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 Okay, so we're going from here now to the second location in Katampe. Everybody does not really need to be there. It's a press event. So press people, there are buses, I'm told, available that can take you to Katampe now. If you can just locate the buses, we're heading to Katampe. The Katampe is pretty much the same thing that has happened here. That will be happening at Katampe is just a press event to show what has happened here again and is available at Katampe. So we're moving now to the Katampe location. Thank you. Katampe, thank you. Katampe. Thank you very much. Katampe is the location. Sound. Okay, so where we're going to is NNPC Mega Station Katampe near Setraco. That's the second location that we're going to. As I said, it's pretty much a press event, so everyone is not needed there. Gentlemen of the press, vehicles are made available for you to get to Katampe, the NNPC Mega Station. If you drove yourself here, that's the location, NNPC Mega Station Katampe near Setraco.
No, we didn't say 1 million buses powered by. We are going to have 1 million conversion kits for motorists. But we are going to be giving over 1,000 buses to NLC. We will start in the first quarter of next year with over 100 buses, and we will continue to incrementally add buses until we are going to get to that number. The conversion kits will be with the conversion people. I mean, there are conversion centers that will have the conversion kits. So a motorist who want to convert his vehicle will just drive into those conversion facilities and convert it.
You said it's cheaper. Now, what's the price of
Well, Mr. President has directed us to work at the price, and I tell you, it's definitely much cheaper than PMS. That's all I can say now.
Thank you very much, sir.
Honorable Minister.
5, 6. This is Katampe Live. Mic check 1, 2. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look back, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right.
Look back, can you hear me?
Hello. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Please, this is to notify all the journalists that are here to please stay behind a little. You will be conveyed to Katampe, the other venue, please, for unnecessary action. Please just wait a little bit. We shall convey you there. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Anybody that owns a car,
Okay, can you hear me?
that wants to convert to dual fuel can go to a conversion center and convert his car, and it's going to be an
Mic check 1, 2.
for free. For free, it will be for free. For all time, it will be for free.
Thank you, sir.
For Britain, and people want here.
I don't know what's in my bag. I just saw my bag. Banshee. He is. Trying to be a team player. That's always been my problem. Are you the only one that wants to? That's the only problem
You know, the key takeaway, this shows that we are not just we are business enablers and opportunity providers. Today, this thing happened because they issued licenses to enable this business. Now,
From this side.
alternative fuel is being all Nigerians. The president has said it. The Minister of State has already mentioned it. All this will happen if DPR grant license, and that is enabling business. And that license comes with condition, and those conditions, that is what we use to ensure that those licenses.
The one job feed for everything driven. Are you give them back with a different stepping? Are you give them both? The world see the better picture. You mustn't put yourself on. Come and see that here, mama. That's it, now worry yourself, mommy. Mama, to me, I beg you do. Smile, yes, smile. Smile for me, Jamaica. I said smile, yes, smile. Baba, baba, for me, Jamaica. She was love at first sight. Ooh, I met her girl this morning. She was beauty to my eyes. I asked her where she from, she told me in the cabinet. She asked me what's my name, I tell her I am Family. Just the girl, tell me what's your name. Tell me that her name is America. And I said, smile, hey, smile. Smile for me, Jamaica. And I said, smile, hey, smile. Oh, Lord, smile for me, Jamaica. Whenever you cry, you're mine. Yeah, I'm here for you, Jamaica. Dry your eyes, yeah, smile. Oh, smile for me, Jamaica. Lord. She have a rich history, a beautiful woman, the sweetest eyes and an evening kiss of a night.
Katampe. Katampe, check, check, check. Katampe, check.
sanction. Welcome to Katampe. Do you guys have any means of communication with endurance, with Lube you have? Can I see Lube? Let me see if the guy is still there. Let me see. Can they hear me? So, Sam, can I see Lube, please? Let me see Lube. Let me see Lube. See if the Honorable Minister and the President are still there. I'm guessing they're doing press interviews. Say that again. Oh, they are finished. Okay, they are coming. Okay, brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you. All we're doing here is just the tape cutting. Once they settle, they just come this way. Okay, so welcome to Katampe. If Lube can still hear us, we're here now at Katampe to continue this rollout of the National Gas Expansion Program. Creating the enabling environment for the utilization of domestic gas to power vehicles for power generation. So it's a continuation of what happened at Lube. We would come here and just take this part of it, and that will be all. For those of us in the room who still run PMS power generators and you complain on how much you spend buying your PMS, you're being given an option. Subsidy was removed and an alternative was created for Nigerians. I would think that that is an administration that has the people at the core of our decision-making process. Yeah. My only issue with this is your clothes. Your clothes. Yes, you're right. Okay, thank you very much. Sound, thank you so very much. Okay, good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Katampe part of this rollout ceremony of the National Gas Program today. His Excellency the President has asked that the Honorable Minister do the tape cutting at the Lube end. The Group Managing Director will be officially commissioning the Katampe part of the program, and the GMD has to retire to the office to handle some other issues. Representing the GMD at this part of the event is the Chief Operating Officer, Gas and Power, Engineer Yusuf Usman, who is here with us. So I will respectfully call on Engineer Yusuf Usman. Sir, please, if you can head in that direction to do the honors of cutting the ribbon for the rollout from the Katampe mega station. There's a mic there. Hold this one. Sound.
On behalf of the Honorable Minister of State, Petroleum Resources, and the GMD of NNPC, the glory of God, we commission this plant. Thank you. So this marks the beginning of the use of autogas for vehicles, generators, keke napep, and of course into the bottles for cooking.
You want to know how much? Don't worry.
So as you can see, this vehicle is ready. LPG is of course cheaper, PMS, and with this initiative, consumers have a choice to take either PMS or LPG as they deem fit. This begins the revolution of gas penetration into the country, and this will offer fantastic opportunity for choice that consumers, whoever that is willing to take gas or PMS, depending on his choice. Thank you very much.
So there you have it, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the rollout of the National Gas Program for cleaner, more effective and efficient fuel to power our homes, to power our cars, our industries, and most importantly, power generation. This here at Katampe is the end of today's ceremony, but as you've heard during the ceremony, it is being rolled out nationwide. Or take away the fact that NNPC is willing to do some free conversions in the next couple of weeks coming. So you need to take advantage of that if you're desirous of making the switch. Another important thing you must note is that your cars can run on both fuel PMS and the autogas. So you decide what it is going to be, the dual or the single. You decide what it will be. But what is important here to note is the removal of fuel subsidy, an alternative has been created for Nigerians who might find PMS a bit too expensive. And I'm in total support of that removal because it will allow government to do so much more. And after all, it was just in a few cities. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining us live via Zoom or live on national television channels. I'm told NTA, I'm told many other channels who's being those live today. Thank you also very much. Enjoy the rest of the day and make sure we all start the conversion from PMS to gas. Richmond Osuji is my name. Bye-bye.
And diesel by achieving a 40% fuel switch to LPG in 10 years. According to the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, His Excellency Chief Katampe Silva, 2020 is the year of gas for the nation.
What we want to do is to introduce CNG into the market so that if you find PMS too expensive, CNG, which is much cheaper, should be affordable to you.
The advent of COVID-19 brought about global lockdown and shutdown that led to drastic oil price drop. Nigeria was not immune to this economic downturn as businesses and offices were shut down, with majority of Nigerians, except essential workers, staying at home. Consequently, deregulation of the petroleum industry became a viable option as subsidy became unrealistic. In realization of this fact, the federal government is putting all efforts towards deepening domestic gas utilization.
We promise the nation that we will expand the critical gas infrastructure in the country to promote the use of gas in the domestic market. These include the escrows, to Lagos pipeline system, 2 Obiafu to Obricom pipeline, and Ajakuta, Kaduna, Kano.
As part of efforts to mitigate the effects of deregulation and deepening domestic gas utilization, the NGEP is using all available domestic gas resources to provide cheaper and cleaner energy for Nigerians. Prior to the formal launch of the program, consultations were conducted wide and near at all levels of the business environment, with about 9,000 filling stations enjoined across the country to begin installation of facilities for gas, namely autogas, CNG, and liquefied petroleum gas.